And welcome everyone to Cruise Control. This is your on-air automotive magazine, and you know we are always here for you. I'm Les Jackson. That's Fred Staub over there.
Hello.
And hello, Fred. and and we have some pretty interesting stories.
Yeah.
It's all about what's going on in the markets a lot today.
Yeah, we're starting off with car confusion.
Hmm.
Dealers and car companies say they can't guarantee prices since they are uncertain about tariffs. I feel dealers are going to just say, "Well, we have to add
Yeah,
$10,000
we have
for
to. Yep,
tariff."
you're right.
Even though the tariffs may not be in effect yet or may not be coming from the
Yeah,
manufacturer. So, I worry about that.
I would just say you have to prove it,
Yeah.
or I'm
Exactly.
not going to buy.
Yeah. And they're like, I don't have to prove nothing. And give me that free
That's
cup of
right.
coffee back. I'm pouring it back in the pot.
Exactly right.
I'm going
And
to let you take this next one because you're
on the lighter side of the news, all Cybertrucks are being recalled
all
because
Cybertrucks.
all because trim parts are falling off. Now, I don't know how many times we've had to say "I told you so"
This
about
is not
Tesla
even
products.
political. This is about stuff falling
No,
off
it's
of
just
brand new,
badly
expensive
built
vehicles.
vehicles.
Yeah.
Buy something. Well, first of all, it's not. Well, yeah, I guess it
Don't
is
get
a truck.
political. It's just stuff
No, no,
falling
no.
off
I'm
of a
I'm
brand new
going. I'm
truck.
I'm knocking the truck. I'm not knocking anything politically here. It's a goofy, badly made truck.
Yes. Now, most times you don't leave parts on the road of a new vehicle when you're going down the road.
That's right.
Parts
Well,
A.
you need to get that bumper sticker that says all parts falling off of this vehicle are of the finest uh,
Quality. Yeah, or maybe you put your
quality.
phone number on them so if found.
Now
Please.
that's a good idea.
Like a sticker.
That's a that's a good idea.
Please return to.
Yep.
Like when you did with your pencil case when you're in school.
Yeah. Or my bicycle chain.
Yeah. So, but moving over to this, electrical vehicle sales are slow, but Cadillac says that doesn't matter. We're going to eliminate some internal combustion engine performance vehicles and make them all electric. Sounds like a plan.
It's a plan. Well, they're they are really they're very aggressive.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll talk a lot about that. And over at Acura, they price out the entry level ADX, and Honda and Acura owners will soon have a supercharger ticket.
Yes. So they'll be able to, at their
Yeah,
own risk, go to the supercharger area and charge up their Acura with this
yeah.
adapter that they'll have it.
Well,
So,
that is extremely useful. I mean, it's overdue, and they're everywhere. I give Tesla credit. They're
yeah.
they're everywhere.
Yeah. And then I'm going to have a at the wheel review of a vehicle that doesn't need a charger. It is the incredible Genesis G80 Prestige, Sport Prestige model with the 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo. Uh, Wait do you see
Hmm.
the inside of this vehicle? It is beautiful. It is one of the nicest Genesis vehicles that I've driven, and they're all nice. But this was really, really quite the cruiser. It was a nice machine.
It's hard to do better than a Genesis. It
Yeah,
really is.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we'll have that as an at the wheel review and bring you up to date on all of those things going on. But first, let's jump into our first story, and that is one I'm calling car confusion. Dealers and car companies say they can't guarantee prices since they are uncertain about tariffs. And we're going to start, Les, with a some word from Subaru, where they say they will not be able to hold the prices on these things on their vehicles. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who will be tariffed or who won't be tariffed. So they said, well, we really don't know what to tell you. So be forewarned. I worry about dealers scamming, where maybe this is not affecting them, this particular vehicle, because it's based on content, where the content comes from. I think a dealer will say every car $7,500, no matter what.
Well, okay, but again, by federal law, a tariff has to show up on the Monroney
Well,
somewhere,
they'll
somewhere.
call it a dealer tariff or something.
Oh, I wouldn't trust that.
I tell you
Um,
what, I think they will
I
play
agree
this
with
to
you.
their
Yeah,
advantage. They'll be like, happy days. It's just like COVID all over again, you know,
yeah.
where I have to charge you $5,000 more for this vehicle than is on the sticker.
Well,
Someone actually,
but
I know someone,
it
they were
should
told
be.
that for a Honda
Yeah,
Accord.
yeah. Just because, for instance, your Subaru was made in Japan, it doesn't mean that the transmission was.
Right.
It may be coming from Canada, in which
That's right.
case it's got a 25% tariff on it.
So even if your Subaru, like many of the Crosstreks, are made in Indiana, um, and many of the major components are made probably in a 20 or 30-mile radius,
Hmm.
and all the labor to put it together is in Indiana, you would think, well, that's all good. But what if there's some parts from Canada? And all of the vehicles use similar parts, as we
Yeah,
were saying before earlier, that the infotainment systems, the gauge packages are pretty much the
yeah.
same across the model, whether the car's
And
built
they come from Mexico.
well, they come from Mexico.
So
So how do you
yeah,
figure it
now,
out? How would you figure out, well, okay, so we're going to be charged so much on the infotainment system. We're going to be charged so much. There's some brake parts that come from Mexico. And oh, yeah, well, that heater system comes from Canada. It'd be very complex, wouldn't it? And ripe
well, yeah.
for misabuse, for
At the
abuse.
factory level, the factory knows what the component cost is,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll add to the cost of the vehicle 25% of that component cost. But at the dealership, um, they don't. and and if the dealers are left up to their own devices, they're going to say, well, what is the replacement cost? Which, by the way, is well known, is four times the actual cost of that the when a car is produced. So yeah, they're going to be sticking 25% on everything they can possibly see.
Right. That $6 can of Scotch bright treatment
Yeah.
for the
Now it's
seats.
$8.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is not great, but we'll have to see what happens with this and where it all shakes out. And that's one thing no one likes: uncertainty. Right? You'd rather be certain of what was going on, but you're not.
Well, we're not. Well, no one is. Um, and, it's, there are a lot of dealer organizations that are weighing in on this, like Cox Automotive.
Mm-hmm.
They surveyed nearly 1,000 dealerships, and they figure they took the responses into numerical values where 50 represents a neutral outlook.
Okay.
And this quarter, the index for current market conditions landed at 44, reflecting a lot of pessimism.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's easy to say, well, just don't buy anything,
Well, yeah, but that's
but
not reality.
that doesn't work with people that need to buy something.
Right. Right. Exactly. So, you know. let us know. I mean, are you worried about tariffs? What they will cost? Will that be misused somehow by dealers to just add, you know, additional market value to vehicles? Maybe there'll be an uncertainty charge. How's that? Dealer
Well,
uncertainty charge.
oh, don't even say that. You've created another marketing
A
tool.
revenue stream, as they would say, a revenue stream.
Revenue stream, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know this. I'm going to let you intro the next story. It's about Cybertrucks.
Yes. Um, Now, some people might notice that I'm smiling. I'm smiling a lot lately
Mm-hmm.
because I have thought since day one that the Cybertruck is stupid. As most Tesla products, it's very poorly produced. And golly gee whiz, the stainless steel trim on the A pillars is peeling off and flying off. Uh, and panels are falling off. And NHTSA, our boys over here in DC, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, said, "Oh, hello there, Tesla. You need to recall all of these things."
Yep.
And there were there were two steel pieces that are connected with adhesive, just adhesive.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't this remind you of something, um, Fred, about other Tesla products we've investigated,
Well, like the roof
like
that
tie
float,
wraps?
tie wraps, the roof, the guy driving the car home, and his glass roof goes for a flight
Yeah,
in the highway. Yeah, it's. I remember. This is just crazy car guys, but I remember they rolled out one of the first Cybertrucks, and everyone was proud. The standing there, the workers, and that. And I looked at it, and the doors, the two doors, were like this uneven. Like one
oh
was
yes,
like, like probably at least 3/4 of an inch higher than the other one. And I would be like, wow, look at
yeah.
that. Doesn't matter. That's good enough.
It's yeah, it's the build quality is just not good,
No, but
and
they do have a fix for this. Apparently, they're saying the adhesive was not did not hold up in cold weather. Well, this is why you test
well,
things. You do cold weather testing. We always see it. You test vehicles. You try to make stuff break, and if it does, you fix it.
that's
Um,
right. Now they're going to add a mechanical fastener. A stud is going to be welded to the stainless. That always works well. Um, that will extend the truck's pillar, and then a threaded nut will be put on the back. And that's going to look great.
how about some sheetrock screws? You just drill right through the piece and hold it on.
Absolutely.
Or how about some
Well,
gaffer's tape? That would look good.
again, duct tape, metal duct tape.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is not what you want when you're buying $100,000 vehicle, is it? It's
I
it's
think
not. It
it's
it's not what you
embarrassing.
want when you're buying $100,000 vehicle, is it? Right?
Yeah. And again, I well, I, there are an awful lot of really really good trucks out there.
So maybe you should get a wrap on your Cybertruck to hold it together. Like the wrap can hold the
Hey,
parts and pieces on.
yeah, like the plastic You know, they put around. Um,
Boats and things.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
man.
knew you'd come up with a design
It
repair.
it's like a baggie to hold everything, like when you're taking cars apart, you put all the screws in a bag.
That's right.
I
You're
don't
you're
know.
you're Tesla cozy.
This is not a political thing. It's just something we've talked
No,
about build
no.
quality and everyone can have a problem, but I mean, my gosh, you got to know that
We
that's not going to
we have
work
been
well.
talking about this for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. Um, does the brand survive? I'll just say that.
Um, I don't think Musk cares anymore whether it survives. I think the board of directors cares,
Sure, the people that work there care.
but
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
that's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go on to our next story. Electric vehicle sales are slow everywhere, but why then would Cadillac get rid of two of its best performing models and move away from internal combustion engines and over to electric? Now, we just in the other hour of Cruise Control talked about how Audi was delaying their electric vehicles, but Cadillac wants to get rid of their Blackwing models and make them electric, the CT4 and the
Hmm.
CT5. Um, is this a good play? Are they not? Are they not changing to the demands of the market? What do you think?
Um, either, well, the GM has a strange way of being quite bullheaded sometimes
Mm-hmm.
about
Things.
carrying on with something that's that clearly they shouldn't be unless they know something we don't know. I hope they do, because it's awfully easy to keep building and offering gas powered vehicles while you're still making them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and I personally don't see why they're not going to do that. What happens if if they just if you go to a Cadillac dealer and all you can buy is an electric one
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want one?
You're heading down the street to something else.
You're heading for Lexus or wherever.
Yeah, yeah. They now could these change? Uh, one thing they could do is like what Mercedes is doing with the S Class. They were going to just eliminate it and go all electric. No, they're going to keep it around for a long time.
Yeah,
Volkswagen's doing the same with some of their vehicles and update things like infotainment and that. Um, but maybe it's like they want to say we're in charge and we're going to build these things and you buy what we build, where really the customer's in charge. If they don't want what you're building, they have other
well, that's
options.
right. Cadillac used to be the standard of the world, and yes, people bought Cadillacs because they were Cadillacs. But that's used to be. It's not true anymore.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Is it just wishful thinking?
I don't know. Well, these are 2022 models, the CT4V and the CT5V, um, and they are going to stick around for till 2026, but they're not sure what will happen beyond that. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it would be a bad move at this point to pull the internal combustion engines.
Yeah, and look at them. They just brought out that monster Cadillac SUV.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's enormous, like 12 rows. No,
It's an
that's
airport
that's a
bus.
GM. That's a GM bus. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean,
if it works,
GM's got a lot of issues. I mean, they have their Bright Drop vans, right, that were going to compete against Rivian's vans. The Rivian vans are the ones you see
hmm
with Amazon using them, right? And now they've opened it up to other people. They can't give them away. They're really heavily discounting them. There's a field where it's filling up. Nobody's buying them. There's seems like nothing wrong with the van, but they have to discount it by $30,000 to get someone
Whew,
to. be even interested in it. Does that mean you make more electric vans? I don't think so. It means like, hey, something's wrong with our
Yeah.
offering, or you know what, the market for electric vans is not that great. Um,
Or both.
yeah, or both, a combination of both. Um, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's they're feeling that this is going to be the way it is, and they don't care, or I don't know. It seems strange to me. It's just like the idea with these subscriptions. No matter what people say, they're going to keep going and charging. They want to charge you $135 a month for some subscription, and then they don't get why people aren't buying it. Case in point, let's talk about the Dodge Charger. Now that's a little bit different scenario. Um, they came out with the electric version first. That's because they had a CEO, formerly had a CEO that did not understand the brand at all. Um, and then now they have to play catch up, but they are playing catch up. They realize that this is not really what people want. And the other guy, Tavares, did not understand that when he was CEO. And so here's what's happening. Dodge is knocking $12,500 off the Charger Daytona EV. And they call it stackable rebates. You can stack it up with other rebates. So it means that this vehicle could sell for below $50,000. And that's
Um,
that they have to do this to sell these vehicles.
it's smart.
It's
It's just
smart. They
smart.
got dealt a set of cards that they didn't want, and they knew it wasn't the right thing to go to just go with the electric first and that. But I just don't. They're not resonating. They're not resonating with people. So at least they have an internal combustion version coming out soon. And in hindsight, it would have been better to bring that out
Well,
before this.
and that wins loyalty back.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't realize they had a financing promo of 0% APR for 72 months.
How sweet can you make the deal? And if people don't take that bait, I mean,
Wow.
uh, you
Now you
know,
can't do that on this other deal, but man,
yeah. So, I mean, if you want an electric van or some of these other things, as we were saying before, electric vehicles, used electric vehicles, are dropping like stones,
yeah,
and not just Tesla. I mean, even like Kia Niro EV, something. If you need a base vehicle that, hey, it's a second car, you need a runaround car, you need a car to
hmm
go to the station, train station, whatever. You want a second
that's this
car
is
that's
this is a
newer.
time to still have the electric Mini and the electric
Yeah,
Fiat.
yeah, yeah. So, and these are newer vehicles. It might be worth, looking into them and having it as a second car. I don't know. Or maybe you're like, I don't want any part of it. I can understand that as well because of charging and that. But it's an interesting time, and we're going to keep analyzing it on cruise control. Isn't that right?
We are, and again, we don't know more than the dealers do,
No.
um, and we don't know more than anybody does about where we stand with tariffs and all of these things.
Yeah.
But by the end of the year, I think things are going to be very different.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Anyway,
Let's. This is a very bizarre story, and hard to explain. Um, so we know about scalpers, right? They buy tickets to concerts, they
right,
buy them in
right.
mass, and then they say, "Hey, if the ticket was $120, I'm going to charge $500 for it, maybe more, depending on what it is." So somehow in Broward and Miami-Dade counties, criminals are attempting to sell Department of Motor Vehicle appointments for as much as $250. Here's the deal.
Wow.
It costs nothing to make an appointment at Department of Motor
No,
Vehicles.
it costs nothing.
It costs nothing. And somehow a network of scalpers are hoarding hundreds of otherwise free Department of Motor Vehicle appointments. So they're going in and fraudulently making these appointments, right? I don't even know how you do that, but they are doing that and fictitiously scheduling these appointments with different names, and they're selling them between $25 and $250, according to the Miami Herald. That is crazy.
That really is crazy. And I guess you have to use that name if
that's sketchy. That's going to be a problem, when the name doesn't match your documents. They believe this has been happening for a long time in other DMV state-run locations, and they are going to take legal actions, at least put in a $500 fine to stop this. Well, I guess the problem is then, okay, so you go on the Department of Motor Vehicles site and, okay, we can get you in to renew your license in 6 months, right? Because these guys have taken all the free appointments.
That's right. They've taken up the space.
Yeah, and then you say, well, oh my, my license is going to expire. What do I do? And then these guys would be like, no problem. For $250, I can get you in next Tuesday. That's crazy. That's just really
It is crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can't just go to these guys' offices because
there's no office.
If you've been scammed, other people would show up at their offices and
there's no office.
Do bad things to them.
Yeah, they disappear. Like it's the guy selling car parts out of the trunk of his car. I mean, he just disappears. You can't take him back and say this doesn't
interesting,
work.
The tax collector Darrell Fernandez of Miami-Dade County says we know who they are and how they operate.
Okay.
And we're committed to blah blah blah. Well, go get them.
Go get them. Yeah.
And put them in jail.
Well, you get like 10 undercover officers to buy the stuff, and then you have your evidence, right? Hey, I bought 5 appointments off this guy, and 3 other people bought another, so that's it. Yeah, that's probably a big charge. It's like misusing government agencies or something, right?
Well, yes. I mean, it's mail fraud.
Yeah.
So it's several charges.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah. I wouldn't think to do that.
It's just, I just can't, every time you turn around.
Well, you always say if they thought about something where they could do something legally, they'd probably make a lot of money, but they don't bother.
That's right.
Wouldn't be the same. So let's talk about the Acura ADX. This is an entry-level electric vehicle from Acura. It is a premium compact SUV, well equipped with an MSRP of $35,000. Interesting take from Acura, isn't it?
This is very smart of Honda and Acura.
Yep.
Because Acuras, we talk about this frequently, that Acuras seem to sometimes just be invisible.
Yeah.
They don't have a huge following, and this is a great way to get the public aware of Acura.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're very, very good cars.
Yes, they are. They are. They have a lot. I mean, and one of the great things about this is they have not gone and said, okay, this is the small entry-level car, so we're going to give it the cheap seats and the cheap infotainment system.
No.
They have the ADX. It starts out with a 10.2-inch Acura Precision cockpit digital display, a 9-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, a phone charger, with a 15-watt wireless smartphone charger, 8-speaker Acura stereo. I'm sorry, I said electric. I meant to say turbocharged 1.5-liter VTEC engine. Basically, this is like an upgraded Honda Civic, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's really upgraded.
18-inch aluminum alloy wheels. This is in the base model. Available all-wheel drive. And then the ADX A-Spec adds A-Spec interior and exterior package, panoramic moonroof, ventilated front seats, flat bottom sport steering wheel, LED fog lights, 19-inch alloys, rear seat USB charging port. And then the ADX A-Spec with advanced package adds the 15-speaker B&O premium sound system, Google built in. Very well equipped vehicle. So let's look at this. The mileage on all of them is around the same, about 31 highway, 28 combined. So 26 city, 31 highway. And pricing is for the base model with destination included is $36,350. For the ADX front-wheel drive, $38,350 for the all-wheel drive. And then it goes up the chain, topping out at $45,350 for an all-wheel drive ADX A-Spec with advanced package. I think this is a smart move by Acura, and
Yeah.
entry-level vehicles, I mean, people gets them into the dealer. I know entry-level at 45,000, you would have said you're out of your mind.
Well, but this is a luxury car, it's the same level as Lexus and Infinity and those that um, is an entry level price. It's 35,000 is cheap these days, or inexpensive these days.
Right. Yes, it is. I don't think it would be considered entry level. And remember when entry level luxury vehicles were
Yeah,
$35,000? It's not all that long ago, Les Jackson.
well, it wasn't long ago.
No, and it was also mid-size sedans. Everyone talked about mid-size sedans as the big segment, and they even talked as the U.S. market as the biggest car market. Now it's China, right?
That's right, and that's happened just in a few years.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Weird times. A lot of changes. Um, Also, one thing that's changing is AI being used in for safety for a number of different things. And um, Volvo, this is the subject of our Talking Tech segment for this week. Volvo is using AI to make vehicles safer. They are actually using AI and creating virtual worlds in order to create safer cars. So they are using lifelike virtual worlds to enhance the development of its safety software, such as driver assistance systems, with the aim of even safer cars. And it's possible thanks to advanced computation techniques using Gaussian splatting, where we can create vast amounts of realistic, high-fidelity 3D scenes. It allows the expose of our safety software from all types of traffic and situations. Now, it's kind of hard to see what they're doing here, but I think what they're doing is using inputs from night cameras and enhancing the images with AI. For example, they show someone crossing the street, a child. You may not be able to see them that well, but using AI, add more color to this. Sort of like, you remember the night vision from Cadillac, where
Yes, yes.
it's like you start with that kind of image, and then you, in real time, enhance it, make it higher contrast, light up certain dark areas, highlight pedestrians or other objects, and add color to it. That seems to be what they're doing here to me to make it more visible. So it's almost like enhanced night vision um, in real time.
Yeah, it's giving the image density, which is what the car needs
Right,
to think it's going to hit something.
right. Um, what do you think? I mean, this is one way to improve these systems. We did that study from IIHS last week where we went through and talked about certain cars can see people at night better than others, um, and this would do it. It's like you're not improving the camera, you're improving the image. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, yeah. You're improving it enough that there's no mistaking to the logic of the software. There's no mistaking that this is a person or this is an object that you gotta stop
Right,
and not hit.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
because it is cool.
Um, they're doing this with integration of NVIDIA technology, and they have expanded their relationship with NVIDIA and NVIDIA DGX systems. And to be able to do this in real time as you're driving down, I mean, I think some of this probably came from the military too, because let's face it, you're looking at that screen and you're deciding, should I drop the bomb on that area? What is that? And to have
Yep,
those enhanced images to give you a better viewpoint. Um, this is a lot of this stuff was military, and I think it's
that's
interesting
right.
as a way to improve these systems, just to make the image better, so it can decide. Um, I also, this is just me, but uh, I think pedestrian safety is a two-way street. So I think people should wear reflective stripes at night when they walk.
Something that maybe your eyeglasses or something
I think like
that.
in the military when they go out on a road to do PT and t-shirts, right? They have a reflective strip that they
Yeah,
wear
they do.
around them. Or you can make it into clothes because if you're dressed in black and you have a black hat on and you're bent down looking at your phone, you're not very visible at
No,
night.
you're basically an infrared heat sink
Yes.
in the light world.
Yes. At case in point, one
Um,
of my neighbors who is a Labrador, a big black Labrador, when his owner walks him at night, I don't even see him, and I just hear him, or feel him
yeah,
wagging his tail or something. But if you're in a coat, like especially like in okay, New York City might be in one way a good way to put this, um, but it's also bad in another way. So in one way, it's a good scenario because people are hard to see because a lot of people in New York wear black clothes. They do. It's just
hmm,
always been that way. And it's better lighting though, street lighting signs and stuff. But if you're out in the country walking in a black coat and black pants and a black hat, I mean, you're basically camouflaged.
you're a target
Yeah.
um, because for some reason people think that the person in the car can see you, and they don't until they're very close to you.
Right. And you just see an outline then. You just see an outline. It's like, what is that? And yeah. So I think making yourself
Yeah.
more visible, just like I'm always a fan of good rear lighting on a vehicle. It's decorative, but
Yes.
the more light you
Yes.
have on the vehicle, from being a fighter pilot, if you can see it first, you can kill it first. But
That's it.
but you can
It's
also not run into it too, which I think is more
which
important.
in and of itself is not pleasant either. So
Right.
yeah, and just something that people could just be as you said sewn into to clothing that
Jackets.
you wouldn't even see it
Yeah.
ordinarily.
There are people, and I don't fault them. There are guys that run around here that wear a full safety vest, you know,
Oh
at night,
yeah.
and that's okay, or a light on their head, you know.
Or in their bikes, flashing light.
Yeah, I think that's you're
That's
actually
what I'm going to
supposed to do
put,
it.
a flashing light. Right?
Yeah, yeah. By the way, if you're ever working on your car, those headlamps are incredible.
They are.
Do you use them when
They
you work
really.
on the Cobra and that?
Well, I have, but what I have done is I have, drop lights with the little hook.
Mm-hmm.
Except I removed the incandescent bulb and I put a ceiling LED, 5400 lumens light. So you turn those on, and it lights up the entire room.
That's great. If you can
So I
see, you
just
can work on it.
absolutely, I'm a stickler about having lots of light.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It makes your life easier. Well, let's do an at the wheel review. Um,
Absolutely.
this Genesis consistently has been one of my favorite brands because I think they go above and beyond to become an incredible luxury brand,
Yep. Yep.
and they just keep getting better and better. And the other thing I like is they build great high-end luxury sedans. They built some great crossovers as well, but this this sedan, this is their G80. They have the G90, which is larger, but this is their G80. They call it the executive sedan. It's newly redesigned, and it ours was a very special one. It's the Prestige model. It has the twin turbocharged V6. So ours is the G80 3.5T Sport Prestige all-wheel drive.
Hmm.
Uh, Wait till you see the interior of this vehicle. But outside, beautiful long hood, short rear deck, kind of a built-in spoiler. Got the great slat type lighting from Genesis. I like the big turn signals on the side. Once again, the more light you have, they can see you. You're coming over. I love the wheels with the dimples in it, the aerodynamic dimples in it. I think they are very cool. And it is just gorgeous on the inside. Red leather,
Oh man.
quilted leather, every option you can think of, and some you can't even think of. But just the upholstery alone, black binding around it, a red leather steering wheel, two-tone red leather steering wheel. Um, there, even the controls for the seats had knurled knobs and some metal trim on them, which I thought was great. You also get a power knee bolster, which is great for people.
Yeah. Yeah. I need that. I want that.
Carbon fiber on the doors, soft touch everywhere. This is how to do an interior. This is just incredible.
It is.
Really, really, that's a work of art, that door card right there. Perforated leather on the steering wheel, mixture of perforated and non-perforated, piano black controls. The controls for everything else are kind of a mixture of haptic and also regular knobs. The infotainment system and map system was controlled by the big knob that you can rock back and forth. It also has a home button and a back button and a menu button. Easy to use, really nice. Nice touch. I like how they do the knurling on the stock controls. That thing you see blinking is an anti-distraction system for the drivers.
Hmm.
Out back, same great treatment. They did not go cheap on this. They did not say, hey, we'll just put basic seats in the back. That same beautiful crosshatch leather. A lot of amenities for drivers. You get the haptic controls for passenger HVACs, fan speed. Even the little flippers on the outlets are great. But where are the heated seat controls? Oh, they're here in this flip-down armrest, which is great. And you also get a button to raise and lower the rear shade, plus a couple of cup holders there. Nice to have that rear shade so you don't get sun on the back of your head. Hey, if you're carrying lumber, you can pass it through in this pass through.
Well,
Overall,
now
one of the best interiors. Look at that. I mean,
it it is yes. This is uh, uh, it is just elegant and it's beautiful and it's super high quality.
rear trunk beautifully finished off. Nice large trunk, a power raise and close system, and you do get a compact spare on a kind of a cool looking wheel. Push that button, the trunk lid closes on its own, so you don't have to do any of that untimely slamming. I love the turn signal lights on the side of the fenders. I think,
That's neat.
yeah, hey, if you can't see that, I mean, like, they do remind me of Pontiac lights from the 70s, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
On Firebirds and things like that. But look at the line in the hood. It is just beautiful. Underneath, you got a 3.5 liter twin turbo engine. Kind of in the typical luxury fashion, everything is covered. It's kind of hard to see it, but it is quite the machine. It really is. I was very impressed with the build quality of it, and of course, it's got all the safety things you would want. This is a twin turbo, 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, 8-speed automatic transmission, electronically controlled suspension. Um, Beautiful ride, even with 20-inch sport alloy wheels. It's just something that gets a lot of looks. And rear wheel steering, by the way, which is part of the sport prestige features. They include like blind spot monitoring, parking, collision avoidance, rear wheel steering, 20-inch sport alloys, power door closure. That includes the side doors as well. Napa leather seating, carbon fiber trim, microfiber suede headliner and pillars, head-up display, surround view monitor, remote start parking assist. Uh, and they'll throw in the carpeted mats for free here with this, but it's not free.
Wow.
Uh, we don't have pricing on this, by the way. Total price TBD, but they do start. They do start at $77,000. But I tell you, that's a lot
Hmm.
less expensive than a comparable Mercedes, isn't it?
That's true. It probably this one would probably go to 90, but it's still less than a Mercedes or an Audi,
It is all-wheel
BMW.
drive. It is all-wheel drive, and it mileage not that great. City 16, highway
Mm.
24, aggregate number of 19. But I guess you're not worried about that. They do have an electrified version of this. I like how Genesis does their electric versions because it looks just like this. And it's the same form factor and it's the same interior. It just has an electric drivetrain, which is a unique way of doing it. They don't have a hybrid version, which is interesting. They have electrified GV80, electrified G80. I believe they have some other. I think they have a electrified G70 as well, or GV70. I'd have to double check it, but no hybrids. But some of the best interiors around I've ever seen. And you know what it is, Les? They're not gimmicky. Like they're not like let's put a screen everywhere. Let's put screens in the headliners. It's just a clean design. It's a high-end design. And it's one that everyone gets in the car and says, "Wow, this is really nice." Um,
Yeah, it's just super attention to detail.
yes. And what I like on that screen is it goes right from the navigate the instrument section right into the navigation continuously. There's no break. There's no break. And it has a lot of great features, the infotainment system, like voice recorder. So, like if you're going down the road and say, remember to call so and so, it's just a lot of great features and great coverage as well because this is a Kia Hyundai product 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary maintenance, 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service valet, 3-year complimentary map care updates, complimentary Genesis connected services, complimentary, not a monthly subscription. Um, good stuff, and just a very impressive vehicle. Pricey, the mileage is not great, but I can't say anything bad about the design. It's just a good vehicle, and I love a big sedan. I mean, I love their
Yep.
G90, and I love their G80, and 70's great too. And I hope they keep making these sedans, because I still think there's a market for luxury cars, and I've always been a fan of those. So there you have it, the 2025 G80 3.5 liter Sport Prestige all-wheel drive. That is the top of the range model. Um, just outstanding. And I think basically their lineup is completely updated now. We're going to have a review of the GV80 Coupe coming up in a little bit. I got out of that just a couple of weeks ago, and that coupe, as you and I say, used to mean two-door car.
Yeah.
Um, but now it's a four-door kind of rounded roof SUV. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Um, you know, Rear steering. I didn't even know it had rear steering because it's hard to know. Oh, here's one thing I wanted to bring up. This is great. Heated armrest for the center armrest.
Wow.
I'm leaning on it and I was like, this feels
Wow.
warm. That's a great thing. Every point you touch is heated. Uh,
Mm. Jeez.
so
Well, hey, innovation.
innovation and virtually everything. So and that red interior. Do you like red interiors? You ever have?
I do too.
Didn't you have
I
your
do too.
Corvette had a red interior?
It did.
Yeah. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So there you have it. Another at the wheel review. We hope you've enjoyed that, and we try to bring you them all the time. Um, I'm driving the Ioniq 5 right now from Hyundai, and it is a great vehicle. I had it out the other day. Was driving it. Feels sporty. You drove the Ioniq 5 for a little bit, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
And futuristic, sporty, easy to toss around on the road. 300-mile range. Little frunk up front for the charger. That's basically what fits in there. And I like to see electric vehicles provided with an electric charger because if it really is, it's equivalent to the the bucket of slime to fill a tire, or even like those little jump things you can get to jump your
Yeah.
car. You can help yourself. You can plug in somewhere and get 10, 15 miles to get to a charger, right? Some manufacturers are not including them, which is weird, but I think
No,
it's
that's right.
it's a good thing to carry. It's sort of like a electric spare tire, if you will. Hey, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. We had a lot of fun telling you some of the great developments around the auto industry. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road. Bye
Bye.
bye.